Welcome to the AK Star student tutorial. You will need headphones for this tutorial. If you can read the text but cannot hear sound, pause this tutorial now and get some help to ensure your headphones are working. Let's start with a brief introduction to the AK Star assessment before we explore all the details. Soon, you will be taking some important tests. You take these tests to show how much you have learned. We're going to talk about how you can do your best on these tests and the tools available to help you while you're testing. The AK Star platform will present you with two options. The first option allows you to take the AK Star summative test. You'll use this option in the spring when your school tests. The second option lets you take a practice test. When you click the link, the practice test will load. Give it a few seconds until you see the practice using the software screen. You will need to make 4 selections. Select the year, then select the practice test for the grade you're in. Once you have selected the practice test for your grade, choose the subject you want to practice. Finally, select the accommodations. Text-to-speech can be applied to any grade level or content area practice test. The last item, grade 3 through 9 accommodated items, should only be selected if you want to practice using accommodations such as American Sign Language. On the day of the test, your test administrator will give you your test ticket with the information you need to log into the test. You'll need to type in the information exactly as it appears on your test ticket. Passwords are case sensitive. These tests are not timed. You will have as much time as you need to finish the test, so take your time to do your best work. When you complete a question, you will use the next button to move on to the next question. Once you respond to a question, you cannot go back or mark questions for review to return to. Once you start the test, you will see your first question. Here, you'll see the tools you'll use while taking the test. We'll talk more about these tools later. You can select these tools by clicking the Tools button at the top of your screen. The Help button is located at the top right of the screen. It is a great way to learn about all the tools and question types presented on the AK Star test. Each tool has a short video demonstrating how to use it. The more you practice using the tools, the easier it'll be on the day of the test. Watch these videos to reinforce what you have learned here in this tutorial. The Markup button can provide you with several ways to mark the text and questions as you read them. When you select the Markup button, you will see options such as a highlighter, as well as a drawing tool. You can also capture your ideas on sticky notes. If you need to step away from your device during the test, click on the Pause button at the top right of the screen. Your test will be paused. To resume, simply click on the Resume button. Click on the Logout button only when instructed by your test administrator. Continue to respond to the items until you receive a "Congratulations, you finished your test" screen, and can click the Exit button to close out the test. This will take you back to the login screen. If you are using text-to-speech, you'll be prompted to verify the audio is working appropriately when you enter the test. Select the Speak button to hear the audio. The following text should be read aloud.
The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy white dog.
When you see the confirmation screen asking if you are able to hear the text, select Yes or No. To adjust the volume or settings, select the Audio button at the top right of the Tools bar. To play the text, select the Speak button. You can play all of the directions and response options, or select a word, sentence, or paragraph. Once you've selected the text to be read, you will need to unselect the text to play all again, and then also unselect it to respond to answer choices. The buttons will change from blue when selected and gray when unselected. The No Speak icon lets you know that this portion will not be provided as text-to-speech. Now, let's look at the tools you can use to help you answer the questions. This tutorial will show you where they are and what they do. After you finish this tutorial, you can take the online practice test that will let you practice using all the tools and read the types of questions that you will see on the test. First, we'll look at the tools in the bar at the top of the test. You can use Magnify to make the pictures and words on your screen appear larger. Select the magnifying glass to use the magnifying tool. The magnify panel appears on your screen. Use the arrows on your keyboard to move around the screen, or click the arrows on the magnify panel on the edge of the screen. Click the plus magnifying glass on the magnify panel to zoom in, or the negative magnifying glass to zoom out. To turn off magnify, click the X on the magnify panel. The number on the magnify panel shows you how much you have zoomed in. Once you have zoomed in, the test will stay zoomed in unless you use magnify to make additional changes. You can select the minus sign to zoom out. You cannot zoom out more than the starting size of the test. You can use the color button to change the color of the words and the background on the screen. Select the color button, then choose the color setting you want to use. The words and background will change color right away. When you are finished choosing a color, select the X in the color window to make it go away. To change the colors back, select the color button again and choose Default. Then select the X to return to the test. Now, let's look at the tools in the main toolbar. Select Tools to see which tools you can use. Different questions might have different tools available. Toggle between the Tools button and the Markup button to view and use the different types of supports available for both ELA and Math. Note that tools vary by grade level. You can use the guideline to highlight one line of words at a time. Select the Guideline button and the guideline appears on your screen. Move your mouse up and down to move the guideline. If you want to stop the guideline from moving, click the lock icon. Click the lock again to let it start moving. Select the guideline button again to make it go away. If you're using an iPad, the guideline stays still, but you can scroll the reading passage up and down. The eliminator is only available in multiple choice questions. You can use the eliminator to mark answers you know that are incorrect. This can help you focus on figuring out which answer is correct. To use the tool, select the eliminator button. Then select any answers that you know are incorrect. Those answers will have a big red line or X over them. If you decide that you don't want to hide an answer, select the answer again. You can use the notepad to make notes to help you answer a question. Select the notepad button, then start typing. Select the X to close the notepad, or the line to minimize it. The notepad will keep your notes when you close or minimize it, just as long as you're on the same question or reading passage. When you move on to the next question in a passage, your notes in the notepad will be kept in case you need to come back to those notes again. Once you move on to the next passage, your notes will be cleared. On some questions, you might see a separate notepad icon for the passage as well as the answer section. Use the Sticky Notes button to capture quick notes as you read through passages or solve math problems. Sticky notes remain on passages. Once you move on to the next item or passage, your sticky notes will be cleared. You can add multiple sticky notes, minimize certain ones, or remove them by clicking the delete button on the sticky note. The drawing markup is like using a pencil to draw shapes. You can use it to help you focus on keywords and sentences. The lines markup is useful for underlining key terms or phrases in a passage. The points markup can be used to help you draw your attention on specific paragraphs or answers. The color markup can be used to choose the color of the drawing, lines, or points you want to use. Choose a color first before choosing to use drawing, lines, or points. Use Erase to remove the drawings, lines, or points you have added. On math questions in grade 5, you can use a math reference sheet. Select the Reference Sheet button to use the math reference sheet, with formulas and other information to help you answer questions. You can use this reference sheet on any math question. Select the X to close the reference sheet, or the line button to minimize it. On some math questions in grades 4 and 5, you can use a ruler to measure. You'll know that you can use the ruler on a question if you see a ruler button in the toolbar. The ruler has two sides, metric, which measures centimeters, and customary, which measures inches. Select the ruler button to show the ruler, then drag it to where you want to use it. Rotate the ruler by selecting the rotate icon on the screen and dragging the ruler. You can make the ruler straight again by selecting the reset button on the ruler. On some math questions in grades 4 and 5, you can use a protractor to measure angles. You'll know that you can use the protractor on a question if you see a protractor button in the toolbar. Select the button to show the protractor, then drag it to where you want to use it. You can rotate the protractor by selecting the rotate icon on the screen and dragging the protractor. Select the graph paper button to show a piece of graph paper. To add points, lines, or line segments to the graph paper, select either the Points or the Lines button, then click or tap on the graph paper where you want to place the point, line, or line segment. To move a point, line, or line segment, select the arrow icon, then click or tap on the point, line, or line segment you want to move. To delete a point, line, or line segment, select the Delete button, then click or tap on the point or line you want to delete. To remove all points, lines, or line segments, select the Clear button. Select X to close the graph paper window or the line to minimize it. On math questions in grades 6 through 9, you can use a math reference sheet. Select the Reference Sheet button to see the math reference sheet, with formulas and other information to help you answer questions. Select the Graph Paper button to show a piece of graph paper. To add points, lines, or line segments to the graph paper, select either the Points or the Lines button, then click or tap on the graph paper where you want to place the point or line. To move a point or line, select the arrow icon, then click or tap on the point or line you want to move. To delete a point or line, select the Delete icon, then click or tap on the point or line you want to delete. To remove all points and lines, select the Clear icon. Select the X to close the graph paper window or the line to minimize it. On some math questions, you can use a scientific calculator to help you answer the question. You'll know that you can use a calculator on a question if you see a Scientific Calculator button in the toolbar. Select the button to show the calculator. To hide the calculator, select Hide or select the Scientific Calculator button again. Select the top bar of the calculator and drag it to move the calculator. The calculator will save what you're working on just as long as you're on the same question. The calculator shows your answers as you type, so it doesn't have an equals key in the main menu. The answer key, listed as ANS, will enter the answer to the last problem you completed on the calculator into the current row. You can use the scroll bar to see the rows you have entered. Select the different tabs to see the different functions of the calculator. Use the slider to choose between answers in radians and degrees. Use the Undo key to undo your last action and the Redo key to redo it. A scientific calculator is only available for grade 6, 7, and 8 math items when allowed. A graphing calculator is only available on grade 9 math items when allowed. Tip number 1. When you select an answer, the answer will be highlighted in blue. The answer will also have a blue box around it. The blue box moves when you choose another answer or if you click one of the other buttons on the test, but your final answers will be highlighted in blue. If you decide the answer you chose isn't right, select that answer again, and the blue highlight will go away to show that you have unselected that answer choice. You can then pick a new answer. If you want to erase all your answers, select Clear at the top. Some questions will have 2 parts. Answer both parts, then continue to the next question. Some questions will show a reading passage and a question side by side. Tip number 2. Some items will ask for more than one answer choice. You will need to respond to all answers to move on to the next question. The answers you choose will be highlighted in blue. If you want to choose a different answer, just select that answer instead. If you did not select the appropriate number of answers, you will see a blue text box notifying you that you will need to select enough options. If you select the next button before you have fully answered the question, you will see a message telling you to check that you've selected enough answer options. Select Next to close this message. An important note, you will keep receiving the message prompting you to select the required amount of answers to move on until you select the appropriate amount of answers. Tip number 3. Some questions have a short fill-in-the-blank answer where you will enter a number or expression. Select the box and enter your answer. If you want to change your answer, you can select the box again, delete your previous answer, and enter your new answer. Tip number 4. Some questions will have match items. When you select a response, the boxes will be highlighted in yellow for where they can be placed. You have now finished this tutorial. The next step is to take the practice tests and use the tools you have learned today. During the test, remember to do your best work. And if you have any questions about what you have just learned, ask your teacher.